Some audience participation, if I may. Okay. No matter how much thought we give money, nothing is bought but worry. It's got a very short and defensive fuse, money's muse. Often my meditations on money, it will just refuse. I don't understand what it has to lose, money, and why its muse gets so funny. When I'm searching for money's inspiration, it's as if I'm making some kind of allegation. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of this journey into money we don't find some tubby, bald man sweaty in the dark saying, "The worry, the worry." All money appearing in this work is fictitious. Any resemblance to real money, dead or alive, is purely coincidental. I've had to insert that, otherwise money's muse was going to go fundamental. Thinking about money, a synonym for worry, an inspiration to bury my head in the sand because it's giving up the day job. Well, things have got out of hand. It appears that dreams only come true if they make money, and money only comes true if it makes dreams. Now there's a vicious circle in which hopes become money's schemes. So I got some sand to go in a bucket the other day, and I know realistically it won't keep the bailiffs at bay, but when my head is inside I can't hear a sound, though as of yet no relief has been found, because I can hear someone thinking, and it's me, and it's about money. I was thinking about money, and it might just be me, but maybe it's a forgery. Minted? Have you ever heard such a smoke screen of a word for something that is just printed? And if money is just printed, just a print, then deep down, we're all skint. Skint, the past participle of to skin. Money, thin skin. Circulation, thin skin. Imagination, thin skin. With limitless degrees of Maybe I shouldn't be expressing such thoughts in a public place. I could end up in the courts with charges to face of treason for even suggesting there's a reason to believe that legal tender is just a poisonous printed paper pretender. Yeah, sorry, I clearly misunderstood the situation. It's a magical ritual incantation, minting, not just copying, not just printing. Now we are all under its spell in this ritual circulating whirlpool of a wishing well of buy, borrow, sell, buy, borrow, sell, buy, borrow, sell. Oh, please don't think that I would dream of making any comparison between the picture of Dorian Gray and the power of money expanding with each circulating day, and its origin in servant now, with nothing to say, in a state of servile paralysis, in need of some kind of community analysis. It has nothing to say, just buy, borrow, sell, pay, buy, borrow, sell, pay. It's often said that with a big lie, that it's not visible just to the naked eye, but banks and their governments a long and elaborate con? Oh, come on. I mean, they're not dissimilar to the religious one, except gods are in stories that we told, and money is telling our story in continuous unfold. When money makes money, we are awash with coincidence. Money's not worth the paper that it's printed on. Is that a bit strong? Okay, money's worth more than the paper that it's printed on. That sounds like a con. Okay, money's worth more and less than the paper that it's printed on. Is that not a contradiction? How can what something's worth be more and less than what it is? Well, by the way, this is not a quiz, but I must ask, when and where did we decide what is worth money? Hold on, I've got that the right way around, that sounds a bit funny. When and where did we decide what is worth money? Or not? We haven't left it up to those who happen to have so much more than a lot. The ones who like to write, they like to think that they're writing our plot. I think not. Because when you have got money, it's really got you. And when you haven't got money, well, it's really got you then. So where and when did we decide what is worth money or not? I'm assuming that decision was not based on anything we have or haven't got. I think I'm talking about the subplot, the real we, the social substance of what we like to think of as the basis of democracy. Oh dear. We haven't left it up to money to decide for itself what it is or isn't worth. Oh no. How are we going to explain that to our children and our children's children? Here's an idea. Maybe money's not of this earth. Well, how did it get here? In a meteor shower discovered by monks in an ivory tower? Where did it come from? I don't know. But I've got some. Darwin. Science. Fiction. Maybe that's at the heart of this contradiction. Religion and its royal refrain, in a coalition with the banks and their government's domain, circulated a calculated faith of measured mystery, and the banks took a slash and money made a splash on the stage of history. A golden shower, mouth of God, steaming fog of class war. And the judiciary, money's old friend, amended? No. Repealed the Christian law on crucifixion, though the Industrial Revolution, according to science fiction, was a mass alien conscription. The evidence suggests it was more like a genocidal crucifixion, though we were like an alien race with a new machine face that did not know our place. We were treated worse than cattle, worked to the bone until we bore so premature death rattle. Men, women, children in toil, worked until the blood began to boil and serum built up in the perineum sac, just like the Christian Saviour's heart attack. And the transubstantiation of almost an entire population, and money rose on the third day, and we were free to work for money and to pay, pray, pay, pray, pay, pray, pay, pray, pay, pray. Though, of course, money could not have got off the ground if we'd continued working for free. Serfdom had to be abolished along with slavery, because who'd have bought what we made if we hadn't been paid for the pleasure of turning this earth into money's treasure? But now these wooden racks and nails have been exported to warmer climes. I'm waiting for the United Nations to define class war crimes. They call them accidents, but they look more like repeated episodes of money's old times. Money begs questions, with seesaw sighs of empty cradle-rocking eyes, beseeching answers from the silent air, carbonized goodbyes, bargains to take the breath away. So now what we earn is of little concern, it's by the by, because there's to borrow and to borrow and to borrow, and all our yesterdays could have lit us to another age, if the credit card and the mortgage had been the rage before 1883. There'd have been no need to abolish slavery. It could have been expanded on the grounds of discrimination to include 99% of the nation. When money makes money, it doesn't give a toss with coincidence. It's the siren of the rocks, you see. Money. It came as a shock to me. Money. But it put the buck in democracy. Money. But now I understand what they mean by liquidity. Taking the piss. Money. The theory and the practice. Money. Speculation. Speculator. Money. The genuine minted ballot paper. Whose voting hand we in frustration try to hold and shake with such adulation, creating slapstick scenes of capitulation and frowns of futility and shrugs of incredulity, because it's only by chance that you can hold and shake that which has no visibility, yet has a grip like dry cement when hand in glove with government. Money begs questions with a homeless hand that when closed can feel the interest rates speculating shifting sand that bury the lifelong security planned and now refuses to try and hold the invisible hand. It has its own speculations canned. When money makes money, we are awash with canned incidents. Religion and its royal refrain, now eclipsed by the banks and their government's domain. No trumpets heralded in this money rain, just a busy imperial concrete abstraction of limitless gain. Concrete abstraction. Concrete abstraction. The concrete made abstract, the abstract made concrete, or feet of clay on a sacred golden statue, say, concrete abstraction. Is that some kind of sophisticated distraction that provokes no reaction? Because the abstract concrete, the concrete made abstract, is just a fact of life, of living. So all we make and all we create is beyond the giving, beyond the receiving, as long as we keep believing in this abstract construct in which 99% of us are fucked and hooked on a hook that will have us suck this gobbledygook that we have mistook for worth. The most flexible software on earth. What is worth? To be barb-mired in chance, to be hardwired to dance on the end of these lines that we were sold, that there's no such thing as the common fold, that life is the penalty. If life is a penalty, are we really dying or just living? And if giving is receiving, can we stop believing in this money fate, this money state? But we can't just wait on this hook that would have us suck the rest of our lives through last straws. I'm not going to put up with this anymore. Pause. This is not acceptable. Pause. This is not acceptable. Pause. Government by possession of the people's fear for their possessions in spiralling repossessions. There are no such things as recessions. Just cruel, conspired concessions made by governments to those who would take and make possessions of us and what is ours, the foundations of all those towers. Recession. Money doesn't need to learn lessons. Money can't learn lessons. Money is more or less. Money, more or less. The more money there is, the more everything is worth. But the more money there is, the less money is, because the less the numbers are worth. The less money there is, the less everything is worth, but the less money there is, the more money is, because the more the numbers are worth. Is it of this earth? Supply and demand, is that some kind of sleight of hand, some trick of money's light, some illusion, some dubious conclusion, based on the notion that money's circulation is the only motion? Money is just numbers, more or less. More money, more numbers, less money, less numbers. Money, less numbers. Money, less numbers. Money, numberless? That would be something to confirm. confess. That would be a broken spell on earth. We wouldn't know what was worth or what worth was what. What was worth what? Well, what was worth what? And what? Well, what was worth what? And worth? Well, worth was what was? And was? Well, previous to worth being prior to previous GDP, as simple as do, re, mi, ABC, 1, 2, 3. GDP, gross domestic product, a measurement of output in a particular place. The input, I can't quite put a name to that. You. The subversive we. The hidden collectivity, the we that dare not speak its name in this divisive hidden money game. As I said, it came as a shock to me, money, that it put the mock in democracy, money. But thinking about it, this is more like some kind of theocracy, where money debt is now the sin without origin that we're born in. Transition of transgression did transpire. The shadow of the skyscrapers shaped like a spire. Towers of power, powers of debt, spiraling nowhere, never to be met. No longer the source of original sin. This oh so weak and wicked fleshful skin, which now you can buy shares in. My flesh is weak, but not as weak as my credit rating, which makes it a little bit difficult internet dating. F-U-C-K, so yesterday. F-U-C-C me, for unlawful carnal knowledge becomes for unpaid credit card. You just have to pronounce that last C a little bit hard. No longer is it required for us to have clergy's sermons ringing in our ears. There are much more profitable insecurities and fears for us to realise through the scripture of the advertised. Money begs questions. With an empty stomach, blurred concentration of the child's attempted separation of the words from the page, with a self-fulfilling whispered rage behind the scenes of inadequacy's stage. Oh, but that those words could draw more than tears onto that page, and that child could walk out onto that stage and with eloquence make real that rage. Money begs questions. Like he hasn't eaten all day. I will do my impersonation of money begging questions, if I may. Money begging questions. One of the most difficult minds in the book, often mistaken for being forsaken while being mistook. Being mistook while being forsaken should not be mistaken for being lost whilst orally taken. Oh, Father, why hast thou forsook me? Is a biblical loss in translation. The clergy should have been given a clear and unequivocal clarification. But trusting banks or in any church, no, neither has a conscience to search. Both live and breathe by the same spirit and abstraction without limit. Eternal credit line, faith and numbers combine. Eternal credit line, faith and numbers combine. Cloud 9, financial instrument design. And another miraculous transubstantiation without a shred of a shroud of fabrication through the credit default swap incantation. Derivative sin without origin. Spinning, investing, vested veil. And now our debts, like our sins, are up for sale. Spend and send. Spend and send. Spend and send. Spend and offend. Spend and amend. Does that look any smaller? Skint, the past participle of to skin, money, thin skin, circulation, thin skin, imagination, thin skin, with limitless degrees of separation. Is debt what we are bandaged in? Bondage. Bandage, bondage. Bandage, bondage. Bondage, bandage, bondage, bondage, bondage. You said bondage, I said bandage. Let's call the whole thing a kinky first aid hostage situation. A kinky first aid hostage situation? 99% of the nation in a kinky first aid hostage situation? Sorry, excuse me. I think I am suffering from sham shock. It's a condition you get when you've been lied to a lot. It's very common in a sham shockracy of democracy, but it's more like a theocracy, where money debt is now the sin. To the churches, money is just topsy-turvy and not funny. Because if money, the manifestation of this imaginary spirit which the banks and their governments have without limit, where is the time and the place for the source of all grace, the human spirit, which thrives when what's yours is mine and mine is yours, and flowers in the beauty of a common cause. Let's unhinge money's doors, because those scary towers of scary powers are ours. Let's disobey. That's so easy to say. Let us disobey. That's so easy to say. Let us disobey. So easy to say. Let's pauper faith and beg a belief and make our own relief from this money thief, this money state that flies the self-interest rate higher than a kite, where the real unwritten right to life and liberty is money makes you free. Money makes you free. Money fakes us free, because if freedom is meant to be ours, not something circulated by those golden, showered, powered towers, then freedom would be loved and found in the weave of the fabric of our interaction, not in the grip of some numbered contraction or expansion or contraction in reaction to the movement of a fraction of a percent, because then we are still a frightened animal. Except this time, we don't even know we've got a scent. You fill up my senses like a man in a forest. Is it a contradiction for freedom to have a fate? Not in a money state. Because a money state is a criminal caper. The difference between a money state and a police state. After the scary knock on the door in a police state, they take you away for something you might say. After the scary knock on the door in a money state, you lose your home, your family, they take your belongings away for something you can't pay. A money state is a criminal caper, and the smokescreen is the ballot paper, because this periodic ability to vote is just a variation on the sacrificial goat, except the trick this time is we are meant to be the gods to appease. Please. Democracy to money is similar to a disease. The further that freedom is pulled away from the ability to pay, there, lurking in the shadows, is freedom's doomsday. If the symptoms of democracy ever come anywhere close to red, a world about to dawn, black, democracy will find itself like an unwanted puppy in a river in a sack. When money makes money, there can be such a boss with coincidence. Money made Hitler Hitler and his like. Not just their fear and loathing of the disabled, unemployed, travellers, gypsies, Jews. Money had the right to, and it did choose. Hate cannot fund an election campaign. Money did, and money will, no matter how cruel, inhuman, and insane. And do you think money's changed? Well, it looks and it tastes pretty much the same to me. And it doesn't give an F-U-C-C about the practice of democracy. When money makes money, we can be the dross with coincidence. Poetry treats money like a bad smell. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Nothing rhymes here, there's nothing to tell. Money treats poetry in a nutshell. In a nutshell, just ripples on a wishing well. Experiments are being carried out on this universal equivalent known as cash. Scientists are circulating its particles at high speed and then letting them crash. And in the core of the aftermath of this collision, there's an interesting vision. Anti-money is real. Its qualities is something you can touch, something you can judge, and something you can feel. Now, the banks and their governments are a little bit concerned about these experiments, because it turns out, under the microscope, the majority of anti-money is made up of matter and energy and some other stuff, and there is enough to clothe, to feed, to house, and to educate every man, woman, and child on this earth. Enough as enough, not some abstract comparative equivalent worth. When money makes money. Now, I know anti-money sounds funny, but to us unscientific folk, gravity was just a joke. So we learn how to fly. When money makes money, we are awash with coincidence. Maybe this game of equivalence is going to have to be redefined, because it turns out the earth does mind the equivalent becoming the real, because then the earth is just a notional part of any deal, a bargain basement, flood damaged, fire sales steel, and the real is, and the deal is, our equivalent fueled actions are not even fractions of percentages of numbers on a screen, regurgitating abstraction over and over for the sake of extraction of more to the power of more. What is money for? Who is money for? Hold on, I hear you say. What is so ambivalent about this universal equivalent? Surely it's just a means of exchange. It's nothing to estrange us. It's just a way to rearrange us. Exactly. And the history of rearrangement through this convention, too numerous to mention, well, it's given it more than a bad name. But what can you expect without any conscience, without any honour, without any shame, and still the poor to try and to blame? There is a crisis in the brand money, offshore and on land honey. So, to the rebranding of this universal equivalent, not such a long-standing, there'll be an opening ceremony, of course, that goes without saying. The televised depiction of the history of our paying for everything that's always already been ours. Is that the sound of more showers? Filling this whirlpool of a wishing well of buy, borrow, sell, buy, borrow, sell, buy, borrow, sell. There is a dictatorship of accumulation to be overcome with an ideology that the parts do equal the sum. Their money is the last dark art of creating the illusion of keeping us together while keeping us apart. Hold on, I hear you say. Surely we're all in this wishing well together day after day. But some of us are more spun against than spinning. Banks and their governments are like churches creating sin for the sinning. 99% to be almost precise, at the mercy of the loaded money dice. When money makes money, we are the loss with coincidence. Money is just numbers. For our waking slumbers to repeat like sheep, to help us sleep while we work. Take away those numbers, and what kind of silence would there be? And in that silence, what would it mean to be free? To be heard? Would that be the real beginning of the Word? And the Word would be ours, and our only bonds. God's or faith, which came first? The water or the thirst? Well, we are sort of 90% water. So our water is thirst, and our thirst is water, and we are all human. So we, the 99%, we can overcome this money as the innocent and quench each other's thirst. And these money bonds burst.